Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the greatest podcast on La Planeta. Been speaking a lot of Spanish. Got a big presentation coming up. Your screen's glitched a lot still, just letting you know. But
Huh.
as always, I am the Bulldog. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. Oh,
Maybe you
Pero
should
de
work on
Toro.
that.
Pero de Toro.
Hello de Toro.
Pero de Toro. Anyways, alongside
That sounds cooler, actually.
Pero de Toro. I'm not sure that's the exact translation, but my co-host right here.
It's Robbie Bo here. Glad you're here with us for this prodigious podcast.
Prodigious.
Yes. Little alliteration today.
Sounds like prejudice, but it's not. It's like flipping around the D and the
Oh, come
J.
on. You don't I've never heard that word?
Prodigious?
Yeah.
No. What is it? What is it?
It's big, special, incredible,
I bet you
important.
at least half of our listeners have never heard that word before.
It'd be nice to hear from listeners. Tell
I
us.
hear from listeners.
You
I'm
do.
not sure about you.
I gotta nudge my listeners, see if they're listening. I used to do some special targeted marketing towards them.
Oh,
I need
hey,
to redo
we
that.
learned that in sport communication, how important it is to have.
Communicate.
All right, if we're gonna go down that road, you wear an ugly ass jersey. Let's talk about that.
Look at
That
that.
is a terrible jersey right there. Honestly, actually, it'd be cool if they brought back the grays, but it also just make me sad because it remind me of like the golden era. But
The golden era.
at least for me,
That's sad in itself.
that's
That was your
yeah.
golden era. No, two wild card years, 2000,
Well,
2008,
hey, your golden
2009.
era isn't much better than mine, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any golden era either. So
Yeah. Um, do we need to talk about your whole thing about not having somebody else's name on the back of the jersey?
I guess we are talking about it.
I I think if you like and support that player, you support that person by putting them on your back. I don't think
I
it's
think
that
you
weird.
got to inform listeners. I just can't. I obviously huge sports fan, love individual athletes, but I guess at my stage and age of life, I feel kind of weird wearing another man's name on the back of my shirt.
That almost sounds homophobic.
I don't think I'd wear. I don't think I'd wear her jersey either.
Caitlin Clark? Wouldn't wear her jersey?
Maybe I'd wear her jersey.
Yeah, see,
No,
that's a little messed up, Rabbi.
no. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I mean,
I would. I would
you,
for sure.
Caitlin's, yeah, but I think that'd be cool. CC. Um, I don't know. There may be that sounds like it's a whole discussion. Like, because there
Yeah.
may be some like old school that I might put on. Like I can imagine going and hitting the slopes with a vintage US Olympic hockey team 1980 jersey with a Mike Eruzione on it.
You don't even care about hockey that much,
Yeah,
though.
but that's an iconic moment in people's of a certain age's lifetime. So
Well, okay.
I don't know.
Um,
Or I wear
would you?
my boyhood idol Rick Manning old Indians jersey with 28 on it. I do that too.
Well, Manning can go a lot of ways today too. So
It could, but that's where I would go. So I don't
okay,
think I wear Peyton. No,
you wouldn't even wear Peyton.
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness,
No,
he's not even like a. He still lives in a small town, small
he
home.
lives in Denver. What are you talking about?
No, he doesn't live in Denver.
He
He lives
totally lives in
outside of
Denver.
Denver.
Manny Cast, he does thing from my garage in Denver. He lives
Yeah,
here.
but like his house isn't humongo and all.
How do you
Just
know
two
that? Have you
levels.
been to his house?
I've seen pictures of his castle. Okay, all right. Let's get to this
Prodigious.
prodigious
Prodigious. Not
Can you
prodigious.
spell it for me?
Prodigious. Prodigious.
Oh, okay. All right. Prodigious.
Yeah.
Can we
Does that
get
sound
to this
okay for you?
prodigious question of the bye week, please?
All right. Are you asking it?
Oh, you want me to ask it?
I do.
Okay. All right. Well, yet again, I'm here. I can explain our thought process behind the question of the bye week, but not actually present the question. because you're really good at
You don't
formulating
have
all
a.
your philosophical questions because you're a rabbi. Okay,
All right. So
last
you want me to?
week,
So
well,
okay, you want
no,
me to do that first, and then you explain. You would explain and kind of me make
no,
up
no,
a
no.
question.
Let me do my thing real quick.
Okay. All right.
Last week, the Saints lost to the Panthers, which is like mind-numbing a little bit. They started maybe even the best team in the NFL the first 2 weeks. Some of us here, the rabbi, were like, nah, they're not that good. Which you're right about that. They lost seven straight. They fired their head coach. But before that happened, they multiple players went to social media telling the fans that they let them down and how bad it is that they lost to the Panthers. And even some players, is Michael Thomas even on the team on the roster anymore?
I don't know what his status is, but he's certainly still in the mix, isn't he?
Okay, okay, he's not even playing, obviously. And he was taking shots at Derek Carr. Keep me. So our question is like, is there like, have we crossed the line there? Like, do players can they do too much social media? I don't know. So I don't know if you have a better question. I just
Social media in the locker room, too much or just enough?
okay. Well, I obviously think it's too much.
So is that a good summary? Is that a good question? Maybe I should have led with that.
Is it too much? What it's not. It's more than just the locker room though.
Well, you
Just
want to get
everywhere.
you're going philosophical big all the way. I thought we were just going to keep it start
Okay,
here.
just in this specific situation, I think I think these players, like obviously the coaches, and he didn't build any culture at all because these players went straight out to Twitter, and by them doing that is basically defending themselves, saying, "Don't get mad at me. It was other players." And that's what they were doing by going out to telling the fans that. And I think that's just messed up because it's saying that they don't have each other's backs, and there's a real problem there. So, yeah, I'm
I mean,
not sure.
I would say as a fan, it's awesome because it is great to get that inside dirt and because we don't get that. So it's awesome when players cross that line and they are talking about what's happened in there. And of course, everyone's got their own version of truth. You got to put the piece of truth together, but it's way better than Belichick and the Patriots who had such strict rules. And he comes to their press conference, say, "We're on to Cincinnati," and say nothing else. Say that 10 times to answer to 10 different questions. So from the fan perspective, it's awesome. From the I guess does it make me like that those players or respect them? No. Do I
Yeah.
think less of them and kind of how they treat that kind of team concept and you know that idea of you got a problem with someone, you deal with them in private, you don't necessarily air it out in public. So does it make me want to root for them? No. Does it make it a really interesting story and get my attention? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, it's cool to see that. But like social media is a way for you to sit behind the screen and not actually have to go confront somebody about something.
Yeah.
And I mean, the coach was gonna get fired either way, but he also was kind of a fallout for all these social media issues. And as an aspiring coach,
Well, that's funny. I was gonna ask you, as a coach, how do you handle this? How do you
like
start
if I'm
from
like
ground
after the
zero?
first of all, I would
Start with ground zero. You got a new
uh,
team,
new
you're
team.
coaching. How do you talk about that?
I would say if you do something like that, you can escort yourself out the locker room. We don't need you in here.
Wow.
Even if it was who was the
Chris Olave?
um Olave came out and said something?
No, I'm saying if it's Chris Olave,
Well,
is
Chris,
he
he
off the
wouldn't do
team?
that because he's a youngster. But who was the defensive lineman, the really big name? He was the dude that came out and said something.
Oh, I'm like on his name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, like yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, but if we specifically put that up in our team rules on day one, that you aren't going to go out on social media behind somebody's back and we didn't talk about it in the locker room before or something, then yeah, we don't want you anymore. We can start building a new culture without you. Because honestly, you're probably washed and you aren't really producing much on the field anyways, besides bringing us dollars with the fans. So
Oh, that was a huge jump right there. Yeah, you can't just say because they did that, they're washed up.
no, 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 I'm saying I don't think he's been putting up numbers on the field this year.
Oh, so you think he's
Because those old guys are not really there. They're there to bring in money from the fans and they're there to build team culture. And clearly he's not doing that.
mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe it's a funny way of him showing that, but I think you have a private conversation with your team. And maybe because he is the head of the locker room, he goes out and says it, but then other players started to come out too. And I just don't, I think it's a mess.
Is social media always bad, or is there a scenario where he's maybe is marshaling the forces of the team and showing some leadership?
If he said, Dear, like if he wrote like a letter almost like, Dear Saints fans, we just had a really good player only discussion in our locker room. And I'm speaking on behalf of all the players. We are sorry. We will get better. We'll get back to work. Blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, That's respect." You could also just say that in a press conference, but I realize you have your own voice. You have a telephone. So you probably reach more people anyways by just posting it yourself. So, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's I guess that we're saying it's both good and bad. Like it's entertaining, but if we're my team I'm rooting for, I would hate it. I'd be like you. Because it means there's poisonous stuff and they're not together and it's just the worst case scenario. I do, I like the teams that they handle their business inside and you don't know what's going on. They don't talk about each other outside the locker room and they respect that privacy. That's
And I
how
mean, you're also just screwing over whoever's the coach replacement
you make it
because,
hard for them for sure.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Because you got more mess to clean up. But
yeah. But we'd love to know what the listeners think, as always. But yeah,
I don't know. I'd be curious about the Bulldog. What are you? What are you?
Pero de Toro.
Pero del Toro
Mm-hmm.
contemporaries think being of more of the social media generation if they're
Mm.
less get off my lawn about it than you are.
I mean, depends on if they're sport, like true sport people or not, and like former athletes that
I
have
mean,
been
I
on.
guess it doesn't really, I don't know, does it translate? Aren't people's social circles communicative via social media? So you don't have to be on a team to choose to deal with something in a group,
Yeah, I mean, all
social media.
organizations,
So it's organizations and friend circles too, right?
I could say something crazy on here as a metaphor, but I won't. I'll refrain from doing so.
I don't think it's a metaphor.
What?
I don't think it's a metaphor. It's a
What do you think it
metaphor.
is?
What are you saying? I don't know.
I was gonna give an example of in another scenario environment besides a team that this, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's
I do.
like if that person were to go out on social media and start slandering. Well, he didn't slander. It was just more like there's something wrong here. Um, we'll get like he didn't even say we'll get better, but he just said we're sorry. So I don't know. How would you feel if
If what?
if that person went to social media and was like, you know what, that was bad. We are bad.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want any part of it. I mean, I guess in my both personal and professional circles, I don't want any of this stuff in the group, even in a group text. Forget social media. Don't
Mhm.
do the whole group text conversation. It's to talk to the person.
Talk, talk.
That's
You
all.
know who loves to talk? our next guest in the next segment.
Oh, they're going to be excited. They're going to hang around.
Oh, folks.
Let's finish that question of the bye week.
Well, I was just trying to segue there.
Well, I like to do a little editing
Oh.
between. So,
Well, clearly your editing doesn't help because you just don't edit anymore. So what, you want me to just shut up and then we'll move on?
I want you to wrap. I like the tease, but we don't usually go kind of right to the next segment. I do a
I
little.
know. Okay. I mean, if you really
So
want to
wrap
do it
it
this
up.
long,
Wrap it up.
wrap it up, wrap it up. This long ass QOTB-W from the Perro de Toro. We do think,
And El Rabino.
excuse me, pardon.
Rabino. That's rabbi.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Are you serious?
I think so. Yeah.
Rabino?
Rabino Mo.
Rabino, te amo mo. Okay, all right. Um, so in summary, as a coach, I don't like it. I actually kind of hate it. But you as a fan, it's kind of exciting to see them show some emotion through social media and you get to see more than you usually would.
But not for my team.
Not for your team.
Yeah.
There you
All right. We out.
go. Our next segment, like I said, special guest. He's been on twice now. Imagine if we could really get the real guy here. That would be something. But Coach Prime has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, he's not speaking. He's just using his actions.
I speak when I need to speak.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay. So
When I have something to
usually
say, you'll hear from me.
okay, thank you, Coach Prime. Thank you. Let me
But when I
ask you a question.
don't, you won't hear from me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm hearing from you right now, and I haven't even asked you a question.
Or you'll see it on my YouTube channel.
That's your son's YouTube channel, not yours. Anyways,
I
so
produce it.
no, you don't. That's your son who produces it. You might pay for it, but you
That's
don't
what
produce.
producers do.
Oh,
He
okay.
may direct, but I produce.
Okay,
I
okay,
mean,
Coach Prime.
ultimately, the good Lord produces everything.
Coach Prime, please respect your freaking co-host. Um, last time, or usually for Coach Prime, we ask him something that's not sport related because you have such a fascinating take on the world. So, Coach Prime, this upcoming semester, I am going to be studying abroad in Europe. And I was just wondering where I should go, if you've been, what I should or like one thing I should do or one thing I shouldn't do. Just what do you think? Our last question we asked him was about Thanksgiving, and he made sure to tell us how we do go approach that meal. And I don't know about you, but after I heard that, I was like, well, I guess you're Coach Prime. But thank you, Coach Prime, for those words because that was inspirational and I was able to conquer my Thanksgiving feast. So please,
I
I
remember a
hope I can
conversation about
conquer
walking the
what?
dog as well.
Oh, yes. Walking the dog. Dog to walk.
Dog to
All
walk.
right. Please, I would love to conquer studying abroad. So please do tell. Do tell.
So I actually start not conquering. I know you're talking to me and you see what we do on the field, and it's all about conquering,
Mm-hmm.
dominating,
Mm-hmm.
putting people
Predictizing.
putting people in their place so they can do the work and
Mm-hmm.
get us where we know we belong.
Mm-hmm.
But conquering there does not come with the conquering attitude in here. When we're
Mm-hmm.
not on the grass, we are brotherhood. We approach each other with open hearts. We're teammates. We learn to understand, be curious of our brother, be open minded to what the coaches tell us. And you should not go to Europe wanting to conquer.
Mm-hmm.
You should go to Europe with that locker room mentality. The grass mentality, That's great for the game, but that's a small part. But in life, you want to be in the locker room, that teamwork. You want to go to Europe with a sense of curiosity about your teammates, and your teammates are those Europeans who have so much to teach you about the world and life that you think you know it all. It's like I got the kid, the cornerback, he comes from Dubuque, Iowa, and all he knows is Dubuque. But he comes to be with me, with Coach Prime, to open up his mind and heart, to learn from his teenage teammates to be more. He brings his Dubuque to us, but they bring to him too. And he is so much more. And you
Mm,
have to go to Europe, not like it's the grass, but it's like the locker room. Not like you're going to conquer and dominate, but you're coming to reach out to your teammates and bring your Oxfordianness open to see what those Luxembourgians might be teaching you and teammates to you.
mm,
And what those people may be coaching you up to be that you don't even know because you're not in Dubuque anymore.
mm.
You're in Luxembourg City. No,
That doesn't exist.
Luxembourg. Okay. City of Luxembourg. Any case. So go to Europe, not with the grass mentality, but the locker room mentality. Go to
Um,
Europe, not thinking because you know all about Dubuque and you know about Luxembourg. Go open your mind, open your heart. Look for the coaches, look for the teammates who will lift you up.
mm,
And then when you get on the battlefield, on the grass of life to go and conquer the sports world, you will have more gifts and more assets and more
mm,
wisdom to realize your dreams, just like we are going to realize our dreams
mm.
with that Big Ten championship and a
Big 12,
place
Big
at the
12,
dance.
Big 12,
Big
Big 12,
12. They
Big
said Big
12.
10, Big 12.
Yeah.
All the numbers confuse me sometimes. Big 10,
Um,
Big 2, Big Pac 10. I don't know.
I really appreciate that. That's some good wisdom. I was are you implying that you should not have the locker room mentality on the grass, not be a brotherhood on the grass?
Son, son.
Oh no. Oh no.
Even though we speak in this way, like this or that,
Mm,
your mind is big enough to hold two ideas at the same time.
mm.
You could be on that grass and be dominating on that prestigious experience of playing a game. But you are strong around it because on that grass, you have the locker room in your heart with your brothers.
Okay, so I can have something in my head and heart at the same time. Something
You even
different.
have
I
two
got
things in your head at the same time,
Oh, okay.
and head and heart as well.
Okay. Just
Head, heart, even when you get it punching the butt, punching the balls, you can have that at the same
yeah.
time.
Hey, Coach Prime, I know somebody that likes to talk about butts. His name is Rabbi Mo.
That was I didn't. There was no mention of butts.
There
It was
was
in
mention
reference to
of
another segment. Head, heart, punch the balls.
okay. Well, you accidentally said butts, so I was just um but yeah, Coach Prime, I wish you luck and you guys now have a really good chance of making the Big 12 championship game. So I look forward to watching you. Still not sure if I fully support you, but I like that you're bringing attention to my home state CO, the 303. I like that. So thank you for your time. I hope you come back. And maybe next time we'll speak, you'll be sitting with Coach of the Year. Who knows?
And for the sister, hashtag asunder.
Good thing she doesn't watch this.
No, it doesn't watch.
And see.
We're back. And as we find ourselves at the very beginning parts of the NBA season, we thought it'd be time for us to look at the season ahead and share with you. Now, don't get excited. You may be thinking it's time for bowl predictions, and they're going to argue about what bowl means. We're going to do a little twist. We're still going to look ahead.
We've already done too good at bold predictions. We need to move on to
Yeah,
something more
so we thought
challenging.
we'd mix it up. So we are going to look ahead at the NBA season through our favorite NBA lens inside the NBA. In its last season, one of our favorite things, one of our all-time classic moments is actually sitting on the set or the
Oh,
box set of inside the NBA at the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Pretty cool. Yours truly did a little mock recording with the
I'm not sure why I didn't hop in with you, but
no, I
whatever.
don't know. But anyways, so with the four goats, Kenny and Ernie, Shaq and Charles, all very interesting and distinctive. We thought we would tell you in the kind of archetype of each of those what NBA team was the Chuck of the league or the Shaq of the league or the Ernie of the league or the Kenny of the league. And by there, kind of giving you our sense as to what's in store for the season. So we're gonna go one guy by one guy. Who's our
Yeah,
Shaq? Who's our Kenny?
sure.
Yeah. Ernie's the host.
Okay.
So
Um,
who is your Ernie of the NBA
er
that you made?
Ernie's my favorite. Just so everybody knows out there, by far. I think if I can meet any celebrity, it would be Ernie. Or maybe Doris Burke. I'm not sure. It's a close second. Um, but my Ernie of the league is the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. I'm not sure if your audio is weird right now, but um, I think that just what he does, he makes sure that the NBA doesn't go falling down into pieces. Keeps everything going. You need him. You need Curry to keep the eyes on, hold everything together. They've always been dominant. They're dominating again so far. And you just need him to bring eyes to the TV. Um, need him to keep everything together, and that's what Steve Kerr and Curry are going to do this year. So,
I was kind of taking Ernie, kind of similar ideas. Like Ernie's the one who keeps it all together,
mhm.
kind of smooth and working efficiently, and kind of whenever it gets messy around him, he's kind of um, keeping things orderly and high level. And for me this year, the team that seems to have the most kind of on paper talent and set up to do that is actually OKC because I think they got
Okay.
huge talent. They're running it at high efficiency offensively, defensively. Um, SGA is just so smooth as silk, and that's kind of Ernie
Mm,
too. So I just feel like they are they are really scary at the top of their game and confident and kind of leading the way. So for me, OKC is my Ernie.
I like that. I
Okay.
like that.
Kenny, I can
Kenny?
guess. I guess who your least favorite is. Is Kenny your
No, you
least
don't.
favorite?
I I think it's unfair to say least favorite because
Okay.
he's still great.
He's still fun. Yeah.
He's
I'm
probably
just
the one that
guessing
gets
you. I wouldn't have guessed Ernie was your favorite, but
he gets the least publicity.
yeah,
But
he's love.
my Kenny is the Bucks. Okay,
The Bucks.
specifically
Rough start for the Bucks.
for the true inside the NBA fans out there, know that Kenny gets made fun of for his knees. Okay, they're always fighting against each other. There's always two legs that are batting heads. Okay, Giannis and Dame Lillard. And you would think, oh my God, what a duo. But no, they're constantly interfering with their progress with one another. So yeah, that's why just clearly they got two superstars that are just not doing well together. Besides, like last night for the first time ever.
I
So yeah,
like that. I like
thank
that.
you,
That's
thank
good.
you,
That was good
thank you.
stuff. I should have gone first because that's way better than mine. Um, so my Kenny, yeah, Kenny's fun and entertaining for sure. But I feel like Kenny's the one who lets you know most often about his championships. Maybe he has done the least at the table to get the championships they compared to Shaq. So in that respect, to me, he's a lot of talk living off the glory of that. And he's great personality. I like him too, but the kind of skill he brought to that maybe isn't quite at the same level as you know, other players. And so for me, the Lakers are Kenny, because the
Uh,
Lakers are living off that glitz and glamour and LeBron and ooh, it's the Lakers. And I got a fancy new coach and it's LA and legacy and blah blah blah. But they just ain't that. That they're not at that level. They live. They're kind of like they're not as bad as the Cowboys are in the NFL, but they're kind of like that. That they get a lot of attention and talked about, and they're good enough sometimes to be compelling, but they're not they're living off past glory. So that's my Kenny.
all right.
Yeah. All right. We doing Chuck or Shack next?
We can do. I don't like my Shaq as much, so let's do Shaq.
Okay.
Shaq, he's Shaq, okay? And everybody knows him. People want him to say something. I guess it's more Chuck, but they know that he's gonna do something crazy. He's always been the biggest, the best. And for that reason, I'm gonna say the Celtics this year.
Uh-huh.
People expect him to do well. They expect Shaq to do well. They expect the Celtics to do well. Nobody's really second guessing them. They're gonna do their thing. Um, Now that I'm saying this, I feel like maybe it's more Ernie, but I know. I just they're gonna dominate because and Shaq always dominates the attention and whatnot. So whatnot for that reason.
I mean, yeah, Shaq's a whole package.
Yeah.
He's high level Hall of Fame talent. He's won. He is one of the funnier people you ever will listen to. And
Mm,
he garners that attention and he can always just kind of own the room or in the space, both because of his physical stature, but also his personality. And so no matter what is happening around him, he can do that. And for me, that's the Warriors.
okay.
The Warriors are that because they're that substance maybe the Lakers lack. Um, they walk the walk. They got it all too. They've got the superstar who is going to step up in the moment and be spectacular, do something you've never seen. They've got the coach who has uh, the strategy and both the kind of nuts and bolts, X and O's, but also can talk them up and lead and they also kind of got that pizzazz that Shaq's got to take over the room because of the Warriors. So you want when they're in town, when they're on TV, you want to watch them. So
Okay.
the Warriors are my Shaq. And last but not least, my
What?
favorite of the four,
Oh, okay.
Chuck. I
All right.
love Chuck. Love Chuck. Although you're not gonna think I love Chuck by who I compare him, who the Chuck is, but
Okay. My Chuck this year is the Dallas Mavericks. You like there when I think of a team that like you don't know what's gonna happen, you don't know what to expect. There's something crazy could happen. That is Luca, Kyrie, Clay, and the Mavs. They could go and win the whole thing this year. They could have some crazy game. Luca might drop 75. Kyrie might do something crazy with his handles. And the crazy ass owner might do something crazy on the sideline. Who knows? Or the court side, sorry.
no, they got rid of him. He's not on the team anymore. Cuban. He
He's
sold.
still got some ownership.
Is he still? I thought he sold.
I
Anyway,
you know he still I think he only has like 15% left, but um yeah, that's why with Chuck, you never what my microphone's not working. You never know what Chuck's gonna do or say, and he doesn't really care what other people think. And I think that's describes him best.
I love Chuck. However, he is always pushing buttons. As great as if you go down past his loudness and brashness and how he talks, he's kind of trying to get your goat, and he's fun, So he's annoying to listen to at times because he's always just pushing, even though he's really smart and good at what he does. And for me, and maybe it's through my Denver Nuggets fandom lens, but the Timberwolves are because I just hate them and how they conduct themselves and how they push on maybe us. And I mean, they beat us. They're good, and Ant-Man is spectacular, and but they just got that edge, and I think push the buttons and push the envelope, and so the T Wolves are my Chuck.
I
So
like it.
yeah,
So we got a pretty good cast that we just
we
made.
do,
We would love to hear your cast.
we do. And if you, who your favorite of Inside guys are,
Yeah,
the boys as we call them,
the boys.
the boys.
Yeah, imagine like not wanting to have them. I understand that they are done, but as a TV network, you don't want them to continue, and you care more about the money is kind of absurd to me. But that's a whole nother conversation for another time.
That could be the next question of the bye week, or
Could be,
maybe not.
probably not.
What questions do you want us to answer? Fandom, Mozo Nation, let us know.
Mozo Nation, Nación de Mozo. Mhm. um,
Okay, El Toro.
um,
I keep forgetting dog.
adios,
Pero de Toro. Toro de Barro.
adios para hora.
Sorry.
I already said my part. You say
Oh,
your part.
you're going Spanish. Sorry. I need that.
Adios por hora.
I need Google Translate to do that. Sorry. And from this prodigious podcast
Mhm.
spectacular, have a good night, everybody.